then I find out later that like some motherfucker pulled down his pants and was smacking his ass, spanking him.
What the? Wait, stop.
You're saying spanking him, right? What do you think's happening here? Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, defend yourself. Was it? I don't know if it was. No, Dr. Ruth. That's what it was. And it was like that. I feel like in my mind, it was a really good mix of humor and actual advice. And it was, shit was kept short and sweet. I don't like that one of the things I don't like is that we're only getting to, like, spending like a half hour on one person's completely boring shit to me seems like not a good idea, honestly. Like, someone comes in here
it depends. I think this is something we super disagree on. Like, it feels like there are some stories that if you dig a little bit, you start to run into like really interesting or really entertaining parts. We just have to get to it a little bit quicker. I don't want to just like zoom like 2 minutes, like every single person in and out.
No, of course not. But I think that we need the flexibility of like, there's stuff that we could have drawn a lot of shit out of. Like, maybe it was a bad example with, Bing chilling and someone being very similar to that and like posting articles and stuff like that. But like, I feel like we're going to see stuff where there's going to be a lot of humor that we can have. We can bring out a lot of fun on these things. I think that's what people actually care about. None of us are particularly experts in anything dating. None of us are fucking like sex.
I have a lot of experience.
And fucking up and fucking relations up. Yeah, I guess if they want. But
you can give me a single piece of advice. You can meme if you want. I know that you've been with one woman for 72 years.
Here we
but you
go.
can give me a single piece of advice that I've given that you think is wrong. I'll fight you on any particular thing if you want. You can meme with Chad if you want. I understand you've been in one relationship for 17 decades, but if you want to challenge me on a piece of information, that's fine. The vast majority of information related to sex and relationships that are given online are given by crazy fucking MRAs that have no context in normal dating, or it's from literal fucking virgins who just say retarded shit. So if you think there's something I'm wrong about, you can feel free to tell me. But
okay, I'll give you a hot take.
Go.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
It has the fucking jalapeno icon like I showed you on Twitter.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? When you put in your fucking Tinder profile how many followers you have, you might as well be standing in front of a fucking Ferrari in front of a mansion. Same shit, motherfucker.
Okay, number one, I don't put how many followers I have. That's fucking weird. Okay.
You do that. Someone said you did.
No, I don't. I might write that I do like YouTube or something, and then I've got a link to because you can link your Instagram on thing, but I don't put like, this is how many followers I have, number one. But number two, I'm not going out there arguing that people all need to be like famous YouTubers, or that like, oh, my Tinder experience as a famous YouTuber is going to be the same as yours or whatever, but also depends on how I present myself. But then also, this is like, because people always give me this criticism. They go, oh, well, like you use your career, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no shit. If you're a fucking lawyer or a fucking doctor, you should use your career too. That's going to apply to anybody in a successful career. No shit. Like, if you're a lawyer or you're a doctor, you should have that somewhere in your fucking Tinder profile. Why would you not include that? When people are like, oh, well, try doing it without putting that. Oh, so what? I'm just some 33-year-old unemployed fucking loser that has nothing to show for the past 13 years I spent out of school? Like, yeah, okay, no fucking shit.
The idea is that might be a little bit, unrealistic for most people. Like, even if
for normal people, sure, but I don't always have it in there. When I was in LA for a long time, I didn't have it in there. When I was in Nebraska, sometimes I didn't have it in there. Like, there's different. But again, if you want to challenge something that I'm saying, like, oh, well, he gave this piece of advice. Like, I've always said that Tinder is hard. Even for me, Tinder is hard. Even when I put my shit in my profile, Tinder is hard. I've never said like, oh, guys, Tinder is so easy. Like, you'll have no problem. And then you're like, oh, Destiny's just saying that because he's got a lot of followers. Like, what? Like, this is always the thing. You're doing the same thing that fucking the Reddit does. Okay? People always say like, Destiny's out of touch. He does blah blah. Oh, well, give me one piece of advice I give him that's bad. Nothing. Crickets. Never a single thing. Never a single thing.
First off, would you defend all of your food takes?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you know. Okay, that's fine. All right.
Okay. Well, there you go. Fuck you. See, not a single thing.
What I'm gonna have to do is I have to go back and remember some of the things you've said that have been retarded, at least in my mind. But I can't do it on the spot because I don't have like a little section in my fucking brain where it's like Steve's bad takes. It's only like the really egregious ones. All right.
Okay, fine. Anybody in chat?
Let's just go back to the podcast.
That's what I thought.
Just shut the fuck up.
No, because everybody on the fucking subreddit says this shit too, and you came and you fucking echoed it, and I just wanted to be shown. Let the record show. All right, Dan echoed. No. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, you got something? Didn't think so.
I it's remembering. I need to remember better. All right, give me time.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, the letting your neighbors beat your kids take. Sure, Dan can chime in on that one. Not beat your fucking kids, you moron. When my kids go over to somebody else's house, my assumption is that they're going to be subject to that parent's authority. If I don't want them to be subject to whatever punishment they apply to their kids or whatever, I just wouldn't have my kid go to their house. But I would never tell another parent, this is what you can or cannot do to my child. That's weird. Like, it's their house, it's their rules. If my kid and the kid he's visiting fuck up, I'm not gonna have one kid getting disciplined while my kid is standing there like, no, it's their house, their rules. You need to learn to function like that. That's a life lesson for Nathan. That when you're in other people's areas, when you're in other people's societies, cultures, whatever the fuck, and you're a police officer, you have to respond and respect to their authority. That's part of growing up and being an adult.
I feel like...
Go.
I feel like if my daughter or my son was like, hey, I'm going to go play at Nathan's house. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Is his dad okay with it? And parents are okay? Yeah, we talked. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And then I find out later that, like, some motherfucker pulled down his pants and was smacking his ass, spanking
what
him.
Wait, stop.
You're saying spanking him, right? What do you think's happening here? Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Defend yourself. What is wrong with you? You can't laugh away from it. You can't laugh away from this. If my kid went to someone's fucking house and some fucking man was slapping my... What? What? You can't... This is your take, you fucking degenerate.
Wait.
You think it's like, oh, well, sorry, Nathan. You went over to High Nighter's house. You should have known.
Hold on.
What?
I've spanked my kid before.
Okay.
Like tap, not like hardcore, but like, why do you have to pull down their pants?
Well, back
to give
in the
him
day,
a little swat on the butt. What are you talking about?
Back in the day, I got it with a belt. I guess you just got.
I'm not talking about a
pussy.
Belt. I'm saying if you said
Why
like
not?
a fucking,
Hey,
if you said no, you don't have to pull a kid's pants down to spank them.
Okay, well, that's. I guess we just got different spankings. Mine fucking mattered.
If my kid went to somebody's house and their parents were taking his pants off, there'd be serious fucking problems.
So what the fuck are you talking about? Why? So you want some fucking old man? Like, okay, let's say his pants stay on. It doesn't matter. You're okay with some old man slapping Nathan on the fucking ass as hard as he can?
So Nathan's 11 now, so spanking's a lot. But let's say this is a thing, okay? Let's say that in this parent's household, let's say that they still smack their kids a little bit. Not like beat the shit out of them, but like if they cuss, they get a little smack on the face or something. We'll say that happens to an 11-year-old. A little weird, kind of extreme, I would say, for an 11-year-old, but let's say that happens. If my kid was over at a house and he was in front of their parents and he says like, oh yeah, like this is fucking bullshit, and then a parent reached over and they smacked him on the face, and he came back and he told me that. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'd ask him, well, what the fuck happened? He's like, oh, I did this, and they smacked me. I was like, okay, well, then it would be my choice. Am I okay with my kid being disciplined like that or not? Well, I would maybe ask him, are you okay being over there, being disciplined like that? If he says, oh, no, I don't think okay, well, don't go over to their house anymore. And then boom. I would never go to that parent and be like, listen, you can't discipline my kid like this when he's in your fucking house. Because if he's going to be in their house around their child and they decide to discipline their kid that way, I disagree with it. I don't like it. But I'm not going to go into their household and tell them how they can discipline my kid when he's in their house. He's a guest in their house, and he's subject to their rules and their authority.
All right, to be clear, I believe initially that you were talking about legal things that you can do. As far as I know, you can still fucking... I feel like you made it sound like I'm insane, but back in my day, you would get fucking bent over a couch.
Okay, I'm not talking... That's weird. I'm not talking about that. That's weird.
That is like probably the most common way of people like getting fucking disciplined. You can laugh about it. That's what people fucking did. So what are you okay? So are you okay with like someone fucking smacking Nathan on the ass 10 times? A spanking?
Okay,
that's what it's fucking called.
If my kid was like 4 or 5 maybe. 11 is weird. No. Okay, 11 is weird. He's 11 years old. I don't know if you touched little 11-year-old kids on the butt. That's kind of fucking weird. Okay.
But what the fuck? You said it was okay. He's like, well, you go over to High Nighter's house. He's gonna spank you for any reason. If you,
it's gonna be age appropriate. Do you think my 17-year-old went over to somebody's house and got spanked?
I don't know. You might ask him.
It's gonna vary the punishment. Like, let's do something more realistic. Let's say that let's say Nathan is 13 or 14, and let's say that their rule is if you swear in their house, you have to clean your mouth out with soap. I think that's crazy and weird, but if he swears at their house and his friend and him have to wash their mouth out with soap, then that's what they do. And if I don't like it, then it's on me as a parent to say, you're not going to that house anymore. I don't like how they discipline their children. But I'm not going to ask them to give unfair treatment to 2 kids under their roof. They have their child, and if they've got a guest over, they're subject to that household's rules.
I feel like you're doing a little bit of weaseling right
How am
here.
I weaseling?
Because you said you're now trying to choose a less extreme punishment.
No.
Eventually-
The punishment has to be age appropriate. You can spank a 4 or 5 year old. No, Dan, if a 17-year-old is getting spanked by like a 36-year-old MILF or some shit, that's really fucking different than what we're talking about, okay? But if Nathan was like 4 or 5, then yeah, I can understand it. If I don't agree with that type of disciplining of the children, if I don't have that conversation, before I leave my kid to somebody else, that's on me as a parent. It's their household, it's their rules.
But it sounds like it's not their household, their rules. So what about if in the fucking...
Well, not if they're gonna rape my kid or something crazy like that. Obviously,
wait,
that's not okay.
Why is it okay to smack a 6-year-old? So let's say you're at Heinetter's house and someone's there misbehaving, your kid's there, and he starts fucking slapping your 6-year-old on the ass for 20 minutes. Holy shit, 20 minutes long. It's his house.
There's gonna be like...
Is that okay?
There's like, probably societally speaking, there's gonna be like a reasonable... like line of where I would expect punishments to be. Now, just from what I've heard, and when I was raised, now my parents didn't hit me when I was raised, but in terms of hearing people getting like spanked or whatever, right? Like I've heard of that happening. And I would expect that could be a possibility if my kid goes over to some place and misbehaves. Now, getting his pants taken off and like beating the shit out of with a belt or like a wooden spoon, that's not in the list of things that I would consider societally normal.
So to me, I feel like we as society, okay, have decided that like we can't all agree on where the lines end and start when it comes to physical, like what's okay, what's not. Like, is it okay if someone is reaching into a cookie jar and I smack their hand away and it's not my kid? I would say that should be okay, right? I don't know if I would do that, but I think we as society have agreed, like, we don't fucking know, so we just don't hit other kids, because that doesn't fucking matter. No matter what you do that shit, you might fucking end up in jail. So,
damn, wait, what? Wait, okay.
So to me,
maybe it's a Midwestern thing, but that's not my...
No, I think if you fucking lay your hand on someone else's kids, there's like a 50% chance that some fucking dude is going to come over and want to fucking murder you.
Did you grow up like that?
I grew up with my dad fucking beating the shit out of me. I didn't grow up with anyone else. If as funny as it is, like my dad would fucking spank me or hit me with a belt on the ass and shit like that if I was bad. But if he fucking even thought that someone else fucking like looked at me wrong, he would go beat the shit out of them.
Okay, so, interesting. I feel if I grow up, I feel like in staying over at like other people's houses or family members' houses, that if I would fuck up over there, there's no way I could go crying to my parents or my family like, oh, well, I did. They'd be like, well, why'd you fuck around and find out? Not in those exact words, but
I think you're wrong. I think if you came back, let's say that you're 8 years old and in someone's house, and you came back crying to your mom and your dad, and you're like,
if I came back like crying and I have like welts all over my body,
hold on. Let's just say you were crying. And they say, what happens? And you said, I forgot to take my shoes off. And then they hit me a lot. Your mom would go fucking ape shit. You can't say, well, their house. You don't take off the shoes. You know, you don't want to go back there.
If it was like insanely disproportionate, yes.
What the fuck? You can't keep making all these rules. This is just...
Hold on, what do you mean you can't keep making all these rules? It's just part of, like, disciplining children. It's a complicated process. Yeah, if they didn't take their shoes off, you're gonna fucking beat the shit out of them. It's probably not gonna do it. But if it was, like, for swearing at them, or for being disrespectful to them, or for breaking something, or for hurting or hitting somebody...
So what about like you accidentally knock over a fucking vase? And
come on. Oh, my God. Never mind. You're right.
No, I am right.
What if you go inside and you accidentally step on the dog's tail? In that case, like, and then the parents come out and then they have a 357 Magnum, but they just shoot you in the knee. Is that okay?
You're being ridiculous right now. You're completely out of pocket.
Dude, back in our day, there were still schools where the teachers spanked the kids.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. But I feel like now, today, in 2022... if you, anywhere in the United States, if your kid went over to someone's house and that kid came back saying that anyone there, aside from the other kids, that's if you're like, hey man, fucking Johnny punched me in the face because I called him a retard, you're like, well, you better kick the shit out of him tomorrow. That's different. But any fucking adult, okay, I'm even talking about older sibling does shit, it's fucking on, okay? We're time to fucking spend like 6 months in the joint after that type of shit, okay? That doesn't happen.
Damn.
Okay. You're
wild. You're a wild man. You're a wild man.
I can't wait if Nathan ever comes over here and looks the wrong fucking punch that.
Now I understand. I must have just grown up. My parents were nice, but I feel like I grew up with such more hardcore rules. This is it reminds me of the defensive property take. This is like one of those things where, and I can see why you think that my position is crazy, but in my world, it's so obvious. Like if I was over at a friend's house And I, dude, especially my black friends growing up, holy shit, because their parents were scary. If I was at that house and I were to say some wild shit, I would actually probably expect to get my ass beat.
No fucking shot.
Absolutely. That dude's
No
dad
shot.
was scary. Holy shit. Yeah, I would expect to be in huge trouble.
And
then when I would go back home, you better believe I wouldn't tell my parents fucking anything. I wouldn't say shit. I don't want them to know that I was up to some wild shit at somebody else's house. But I don't know. Maybe it's just totally different.
I feel like you might be stuck in the 80s, and I'm sorry that that's the case. But we live we live in the 2020s. You can't do this anymore. Okay, you can't. This is a. And I'm gonna be honest. If my kids come over to your house at any fucking reason, I'm gonna have those motherfuckers wearing GoPros. You
Shut
gotta
up.
be on your best behavior. All right.
I don't believe in spanking. I'm not a spanker. But I'm saying, damn, if I fucked around at some other parent's house, I'd expect some shit to happen. But okay, I got it. Damn, you guys just operate with impunity in the world. This is why you guys are all against defensive property and everything. You guys just are fucking wild. You guys will just do whatever the fuck.
And I have done the mouth washed out with soap thing. But I feel like even that would probably be the line for me. I think, like, if my kid went over someone's house and they were swearing or supposedly swearing, and they said, yeah, they washed my mouth out with soap, I feel like I wouldn't do anything about it, but I wouldn't let them go back.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it would be on me as a parent. Like, oh, well, I found out, oh, well, they disciplined you this way. I don't support that at all. Like, you're not going to go to that dude's house anymore. Like,
but that's like the line. That, like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything and be like, those motherfuckers are crazy. Because I can't imagine like putting soap in another kid's mouth like that if they were talking back.
Let's say your kid still wanted to go over. Would you go and tell their parents? Would you say, hey, listen, if my kid does this, you're not allowed to do this?
No, I would be like, tough shit you want to go over there. You ain't go over there. Those people are fucking insane.
Okay.
Something, you must have had a worse childhood than me. Every time Steve goes over to a friend's
I guess I just grew up with a fuck around and find out mentality. That's what I always say. If you fuck around, if you're through the wrong person's yard, they might come out with a shotgun and fucking kill you. Or if you fuck around near some cops and you're fucking around on the payphones, dial 911 and run away and shit like that, you could get arrested and thrown in jail. I don't know. That's the shit that I was always told. If you fuck around as a kid, that's why we always make sure not to get caught doing anything. Because if you got caught doing some dumb shit, your parents are going to bail you out. You're going to have to be subject to whatever fucking authority is near you. That's how I grew up. That's what people told me. But
well, your shit's wild,
I guess.
Honestly,
okay.
You're fucking.
Right.
You're out of pocket, crazy, wild. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just. But anyways, I feel sad for the childhood you had. Hey, Mom, I'm going over to Joey's house.
Don't misbehave, or you're gonna get your ass beat.
You know that Mr. Peterson always has the fucking belt out ready. So just get it over with to start. Just oh man. Well, what are you gonna do? Wild.